The root cause is management, pure and simple. Pakistan haven't taken care of their talents, be it Naseem, Shaheen, or even other talents such as Hasnain. They have with basketball now almost dead, almost, with the only proponent really being, I think, Duckett and Brooke. I think we might see a return to England letting the curators produce the wickets that they usually do.
I'm on the side where I think we can probably win at Lords, but I'm on your side where I'm like, yeah, this team ain't drawing anything.
Welcome everyone to yet another episode of the Dawn News English Dugout. Well, you can see from my shirt that the focus this time is going to be about cricket, the game we all love and, well, the game that makes us suffer a lot. I have Mohammad Raiyan ul-Haq, data analyst for Quetta Gladiators, and of course, our very own Mustafa Siddiqi alongside me. Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you?
Eh,
Okay, we're looking good. So let's talk about the Pakistan team as a whole. We've got Mohammad Raiyan ul Haq alongside us today. Mohammad Raiyan ul Haq, Raiyan, let's talk about the last few months since the T20 World Cup. Pakistan have been, there's been a bit of a topsy-turvy as we usually are. We've done well in ODIs. We won that bilateral series against Australia. We got absolutely trounced in Bangladesh in the one-day series. And of course, in the test series, we got completely obliterated. That was the end of the Shan Masood captaincy. We have, though, managed to win an away test just recently in Trinidad against West Indies. That was a very fine effort. So overall, Raiyan, your overview of the last 3 to 4 months of Pakistan cricket in the men's department.
Yeah, so Pakistan cricket in the last 4 months has basically been just clawing for air. It just looks like a team that's barely keeping its head above water. It just seems like a team that's really struggling to figure out what are its strengths and what is it actually good at. And you could see that with even the win versus West Indies. It came after they made four changes in the side, which means that this is a side that is not specifically sure. Obviously, some of the changes were forced and were because of the pitch conditions, which credit to them, they read quite well and played two spinners as opposed to West Indies one spinner, which is probably the decision that won them that game. So there are a few promising sides for Pakistan, but overall, it is a team that you would say is at a low point in the last even 3, 4 years or so.
Well, Mustafa Raiyan makes a brilliant point. Pakistan doesn't know what its strengths are. We certainly know the weaknesses, which is basically everything. But just to expound on that point, I want your take. Does Pakistan have any strength to speak of, or is it just in a bit of a transition phase at the moment?
yeah. I mean, at least one good thing came out of the last test series is that Abdullah Shafiq looks like he is back and like he's in form. So hopefully that carries over because like the last time we were actually very like somewhat successful in tests was when he was scoring a lot of runs for us, right? And the other thing that we have to take into account is now we say this every single time that he looks good, but he isn't scoring the runs. But like um he isn't scoring the big runs, right? But he is looking good. But like in and like to a certain extent,
You're
me and
not going to say his name? Is he Voldemort? He who must not be named?
we will speak his name in a bit. But like we were talking, me and Raiyan were talking uh overnight when Babar was on about 80 when he was having that partnership with with Abdullah Shafiq.
We all
Yeah,
knew what was going to happen the
yeah,
next day.
because we all knew, like we all predicted, everyone on Twitter, everyone on TV, my dad even, all knew that this man was going to come in the next day and somehow throw away his wicket. Now, did he throw away his wicket in a in an unconventionally
It
not
was his
Bab?
fault. It was never a
No,
single
no, it
man.
was his fault, yes, but it was less a brain fade, a classic Babar brain fade, and more of just Pakistani DNA with that run out.
Well,
I actually
Rayan,
think
yeah, go ahead, please.
I actually think that so much has been made about Babar starting again that I think it got to Babar even a bit. And you could see that in his approach when he started that day for 40 minutes. He was basically just looking to get some kind of momentum into his batting, and he didn't seem to. He batted for 40 minutes and he only got 4 runs in those 40 minutes. It was very clear that he was on the edge of his seat. So the run out was just a culmination of that whole edginess where he just wanted to get those runs and get his milestone so that he could finally relax himself. Even I think a single boundary could have helped him relax, but he credit to the West Indies that they did not let him settle. And I think he was just a little on edge, and it just culminated in that run out.
It certainly looked pretty embarrassing, and once again, the hunt for Babar Azam's next Test 100 continues. Right then, it is an England tour for Pakistan. 3 tests to be played in Headingley at Lords and, of course, in Birmingham at Edgbaston. Usually, this would be a massive deal in the world of cricket, Mustafa, but it's been very low key. There's not been a lot of a hullabaloo about it in the media, even in Pakistani circles. But in the past, this series has certainly proved to be a blockbuster, to say the least, Mustafa.
Yeah. I mean, in the recent past, we've actually had a lot of success over the last 10 years in England, right? In 2016, we very famously drew the series which took Misbah to have his greatest achievement as Test captain as Pakistan, where we became the #1 Test team in the world for the
Yeah,
first
for
time.
like 28 days,
For like
26
20.
days.
Yeah, it's still the first and only time we've done it, right? So it's still we still got the Test face, we still got that bloody beautiful photo with him, right? um
Technically, if you retroactively look at the numbers, then I think Pakistan's 87 team would probably have been ranked #1 if you use the ICC rankings retroactively.
yeah, but I'm saying
But yeah, the test mace thing, yeah.
yeah, the test based thing, but like officially, right? Officially, the test based thing we got into 2016, right? And then in 2018, we had that another Lord. We like big things just happen at Lords with us. They just always do. In 2016 we had the great, getting all those wickets, Amir's return,
10
and
wicket haul. What a performance.
yeah, and then also Misbah's great. I believe his last Test 100 where he also did 10 push-ups. It was his last Test 100. It was his 10th Test 100, right? So it was his last Test 100, I
Maybe.
believe.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. So it was his last Test 100 there, which in Test cricket where he did the famous 10 push-ups. And then in 2018, we went again with Sarfraz. We won again at Lords, but then we got slightly embarrassed in the next match. But we
That
drew
was the
that.
closest Babar ever came to 100 in England when he
It's the
broke his arm, his
Yeah,
forearm.
we all really thought he was going to score 100 there. Then in 2020, in the COVID year, right, we drew two tests, right?
And lost a shocker.
Yeah,
Absolute shocker.
lost a shocker where we should have won that if we just bowled a couple of more bouncers to, like, this is the thing that like completely just annoys me. We bowled one or two bounces at Vokes that entire game, and like the first time he gets a bouncer, it pops up in the air, it nearly drops to the fielder, and then we refuse to go back to it ever again. So like historically we've done well in England, right? But just a bit before that, the two series before that in 2010 and 2006, we've had it. Those two series were marred with a lot of controversy, right? In 2010, very
2010
famously,
never happened.
yeah, but like 2010, very famously, where we lost basically our two great fast bowling hopes in Mohammad Asif and Mohammad Amir. Asif forever and Amir for 5 years.
Amir forever, kind of, as well, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Amir was never Amir again. That Amir again, like 2017 Champions Trophy final, he still
Although he's
has.
still playing in the 100.
Yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, we never got we lost probably. Amir, like, no matter what you talk about, Naseem, Shaheen, Junaid Khan,
Oh, yeah.
all these great fast bowlers who have come, all these great fast bowling talents that have come over the last 25 years. I truly believe Amir was basically the best bowling
Amir
Pakistan.
delivered you 2 ICC titles.
Yeah,
That's it. I mean,
yeah, yeah. But he's also basically the best fast bowling prospect, right? That Pakistan has produced since Wasim, basically, right? So, and then 2006,
Well,
very
there was Mohammad Zahid, there was Shoaib Akhtar, there
yeah,
were
but
a few
they
people.
were great. Those are great bowlers. I just
Mohammad
hold
Akram, Haji Akram.
yeah, yeah, but I just hold Amir in that regard, right? Then
Yeah.
2006, very famously, we had that famous walk-off incident
Oval Test.
over cheating as well. Where we were saying that we were apparently the umpire was saying we were ball tampering when where Inzamam
Oh,
very
they
famously
penalized us for ball tampering.
yeah penalized us for ball tampering, and then we Inzamam basically led the walk-off and we forfeited the test match, right? But like what I really want to point out on right now
And in the
is
90s, we had the controversy over, reverse swing as well. There were some
yeah.
overs
Yeah, in
all
92 we
I
won
listed
this.
in a
In 92
few.
we won this series. But what I really want to talk about, and like what gets lost in all of this, right, is our first great fast bowler, right, in Fazal Mahmood, right, who is responsible for our first two Test victories as a nation, right? Very famously won our first Test. We won our second ever Test match against India, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, because Fazal Mahmood took like I
Wow.
believe 10 wickets in that match, and then
But
it was a four Test match series against England. We had it was the last Test. We were 1-0 down with two draws, and it was at the Oval, and Fazal Mahmood takes 12 wickets, right? And people don't understand. Like he is not talked about in the same breath as Wasim, Bakar, Shoaib Akhtar, Imran. Even like Sarfraz Nawaz is talked about him more than we talk about Fazal Mahmood, and like he should be in the same. We should consider him in the same regard as we do Hanif Mohammad in that respect, because these are the forefathers of Pakistani cricket, essentially.
Absolutely, the Brill Cream Roy, as they used to call him, he was very aesthetically pleasing as in his youth and as a cricketer as well. And certainly, like you mentioned, forgotten to history. It's a couple of generations back, but certainly it was a pretty wonderful start for him, and he certainly was the trailblazer, especially for the wonderful fast bowling tradition that Pakistan used to have. Currently, in its bit of in its doldrums, very much like the 60s and 70s. Right now, there needs to be a bit of a down patch. I just wanted to expound on this down patch, whether it's real. Right then, Raiyan, you are the man with the numbers, with the data, the fast bowling trend. If you had told me there would be no Naseem Shah, there would be no Shaheen Shah Afridi, there would be no Mohammad Hasnain taking the bright red new ball at Lords in 2026, I would have laughed in your face. But that is the reality. Shaheen seems to be in a bit of a downturn. Now Naseem Shah has been in a downturn for a prolonged period of time. Hasnain is absolutely nowhere, just slogging away in domestic cricket. And of course, we have the likes of Ali Raza, who cannot remain fit. We have Ubaid Shah, recently made his test debut, but wasn't particularly impressive, was just spraying it all over the shop. Pakistani fast bowling is struggling big time. What is the root cause? How do we get out of it? How do we rehabilitate it?
right, so the root cause is management, pure and simple. Pakistan haven't taken care of their talents, be it Naseem, Shaheen, or even other talents such as Hastan. They haven't identified where, and when they have identified problems, they haven't um, worked fast enough to fix those problems. And Pakistan don't seem to have a plan on a year-to-year basis on how they want to develop their fast bowlers and how they what they expect of their fast bowlers and what they want their fast bowlers to do. It seems a lot like if this person is fit, then he will play every match, every format for us. And if he's not fit, then he should go and figure out how to get fit. And that person is basically left on its own on their own to fend for themselves with little support from the management side, which has led to people making short-term decisions that suit and sustain their cricket, but has resulted in the overall skill being affected. And that is a concerned because if you look at other countries and how they take care of their fast bowlers, I mean, I'm not even talking about Australia. I'm talking about countries like Bangladesh. I'm sure people have just seen what Bangladesh did in Australia. And that's because Bangladesh made a concerted effort. They made the pitches that suited fast bowling at home so that the fast bowlers could develop. And then they had a specific plan and pace camps that they would keep for their fast bowlers. So it's a whole process that takes over 5 to 10 years. And you need people who have the patience. And the same people to remain around for 5, 10 years, which is very unlikely considering, what happens with the PCB, which just seems to change on a dime every year.
Yeah,
Yeah, very true. Today it's Mohsin Naqvi, tomorrow it could be somebody else.
yeah.
And Mustafa, I want your take on this topic as well.
Yeah, so there's this I remember watching this watching this video, right? Where like so you remember when Amir came back, right? Amir wasn't what he was in like 2010 and 2009 to 2010, right? But he was still he was really
He
awesome,
had
man.
some juice. He was okay.
He won you a Champions Trophy basically by himself in that game. Well,
Uh,
not
I,
by
we can dispute that result all day, but
yeah.
it's only 3 matches you won and you lifted an ICC trophy. So let's not overblow it.
Yeah, he said that's one of the best. That's one of the finest spells in a final I've seen in a while.
You
Okay,
had 338 on the board, bro. Come on.
I'm not gonna deny Fakhar Zaman, but come on.
Don't slander our calendars, man, for your
I'm
kings.
how am I slandering Kalandes? I love Fakhar Zaman.
If
Yeah, yeah,
if
but
we
like
are on the Amir praise sesh, then I must say that Amir has by far the greatest cricketing IQ I've seen of any
That's
Pakistani
what
player.
everybody
Like
says.
yes,
Everybody
yes.
like
says that about him.
being around him at team meetings and the way he would assess the batsman, it was absolutely incredible. So that's my piece on
And
him.
even his story of leaving home at like age 10, 11,
Yeah,
12
yeah,
from Mandi Bahud, wherever he was,
yeah.
to go live alone in Rawalpindi and train and, become the player that he was. I mean, that guy has a lot. It's a
Yeah.
very interesting backstory to say the
Yeah,
least.
yeah, but like coming back to what my point was, right? There was so when he came back in 2016, there's this very famous stat that he was out of the team he was out of the team again in 2018 because he lost all his pace. This is because he basically bowled the he had not played international cricket for 5 years, and he basically bowled the most the most overs by any bowler, not fast bowler, because spin bowlers traditionally bowl more overs than fast bowlers, especially in Test cricket, by any bowler since his comeback. And that essentially just completely killed his pace, his back. Like he went from his like 140, 145 right down to like 135 max, right? And we've seen this. Another a great example of this is Muhammad Abbas. Muhammad Abbas was basically the best fast bowler in the fast bowler in the
I still
world.
remember that series in West Indies 2017. He was bowling 135,
Uh,
136 and getting real seam movement.
Yeah,
He
real,
still does, but
yeah,
then he was very for
yeah, yeah,
sure.
but I'm talking about even in do you remember in the 2018 series
Of
where
course, he was
against
unplayable.
yes, in Australia, no, but like also in the 2018 series where he was bowling against Australia and New Zealand.
In Abu Dhabi. Yeah,
Abu
yeah.
Dhabi Abu Dhabi, and he was blowing great, and then he got injured, and then we were playing him injured in South Africa, and that is what actually
He
killed
did his
him
shoulder, I believe, before or during that tour. You're
during
very
that
right.
During the New Zealand series,
during
after
the New
during the first test.
yes, during the New Zealand series, and then we rushed him back, which is what we always do. We rush all our fast bowlers back too fast. Junaid Khan, Mohammad Irfan, Mohammad Zayed, Shoaib Akhtar. Like this has been not this is a historical problem that has been going on for decades. And like while we will still be just because of our genetics and just because we've had so many great fast bowlers, even in these situations, you will keep on
That's literally what happened with Amir. By that time, Shaheen became the blue-eyed boy, and we
yeah,
forgot about him. It's true. It's true.
yeah, you will
And now
always
Shaheen is going through
Shaheen is
that
get
cycle with somebody else.
Shaheen's getting forgotten about it for a bit, and
For
like
Ali
this,
Raza and these guys and that, and
yeah, and like
so
this is how it's this is and that's essentially the problem with Pakistani cricket, right? Where we are so in love with youth and like
very
always
true.
and always wanting to move forward, right? That we do not cultivate what we have right now,
We
right?
keep projecting our dreams onto the next generation. के हाँ ये कर
Yeah,
लेगा, which
yeah, yeah.
it's not logical.
But like, which sensible team, as much as I was a proponent of his debut at that time, right? But which sensible team debuts a 16-year-old who has just lost his mother against Australia in Australia at that time, right? Especially when he is already see where you can now see that now with Naseem Shah, where he is now just having consistent back issues because he's been bowling so young. Dale Steyn, one of the greatest fast bowler of the 21st century, basically, right? Of the greatest test fast bowler of the 21st century. You up in there, you can
Yeah,
put
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you can put Cummins in there. You can put McGrath in there if you want to as well. In that situation, he yeah, but like he didn't make his test debut till he was 24. Like this is what people
Very true.
forget. He didn't make his test debut till he was 24. Where are the only nations that love pushing 16-year-olds out there to bat and putting all our hopes and worries? Same with we did, and this is just not fast bowlers. This is with batsmen as well. Saim Ayub. We're gonna do the same thing with Azan Owais, and we're gonna come to him eventually as well. But
Yeah,
like,
that happens because you don't have a system in place that
mm,
cultivates your talents outside the national setup. So the people's logic is that we just push them into the national setup and then hope that the national setup
mm,
cultivates their talent. But then that ends up with just them being because the national setup is a lot more cutthroat than a domestic setup that would be more invested in them. The national setup will just go after the next shiny toy, which is what
mm,
happens.
mm,
Well, you know what they say about the definition of insanity, but of course, this was our lament towards Pakistan's fast bowling fortunes. Right then, Raiyan, we're heading to England. We've got 3 test matches. You must have done your breakdowns, your data analyses of the venues, especially playing in late August. What will the conditions be like? What will the pitches be like? We'll be playing at Headingley, we'll be playing at Lords and Birmingham. So, can you give us a more of a detailed breakdown of what to expect?
Right. So of the la in the last 5 years, obviously England have been drinking the baseball Kool-Aid, which has meant that they have actually brought a lot of uniformity to their pitches because they've been advocating for aggressive cricket and cricket that basically needs flatter pitches for them to succeed on.
Which is bad
So
news
we'll
for
see.
us.
But they have with baseball now almost dead, almost, with the only proponent really being, I think, Duckett and Brooke. I think we might see a return to England letting the curators produce the wickets that they usually do. There won't be, I think, any specific directive to have flatter wickets as opposed to previously in the last 4 years or so. We've seen that most wickets have been pretty much the same if you go around England. Now I think we will see more of the ground's characteristics returning to the pitches, where you will see like pitches that would normally green be green again. So especially I think we might see also a bit more green because England now with Stokes retired, they don't have a pace bowling all-rounder. So they've decided to play a spin bowling all-rounder. Most probably Dan Lawrence is going to be
mm,
at number 7 as their spin bowling all-rounder, and they're going to play 4 paces. So laterally, I think they will be more inclined to make wickets that suit pacers. If we look at the grounds number by number, Headingley has famously been a snake pit. It's actually the lowest averaging ground, minimum 50 tests in England since obviously the advent of Test cricket.
mm,
But in recent times, it seems to level out in August. So it could be potential. I think Pakistan obviously have been pretty good at reading the pitch. So they might have to make a decision depending on how green the wicket looks, whether they want to play a spinner or not. But if it's a classic Headingley wicket in August, I would mostly think that it would be on the flatter side, perhaps. But Lloyd's has been under intense scrutiny recently because the pitch has been very up and down and has assisted the fast
Yeah, the
bowler
variable
quite a
bounce
bit.
has been a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mm,
So, and it has actually led to the World Test Championship final being moved to the Oval now instead of Lords
mm,
because the ICC don't trust the Lords wicket anymore. So, I do think in Lords, especially Pakistan might consider playing all four paces if they want and choosing not to play a spinner. And by Birmingham, it'll be the end of the summer. I expect quite a flat wicket, provided England don't request for anything specific. I do expect that Birmingham will be a really nice sporting pitch. If we look at Pakistan's record in England overall, they have only won three test matches outside London in England in their entire history. And only two of those victories are actually versus England. One victory was versus Australia in
yes,
Leeds.
2010.
That
2010.
so
Yeah.
yeah. So Pakistan have only won two test matches in Leeds, and one of them was versus Australia. The other one was in 1987, where that was one of Pakistan's number one teams, where Pakistan and Imran Khan took 10 wickets in that match, naturally. And Pakistan won that match. And because they won that match, they won that five test match series 1-0. Back in the days, you had a lot of draws. And Pakistan have never won in Birmingham.
Well, there you go. Even though there will be massive support in the stands in Leeds, in Birmingham, and of course at Lords, still Pakistan's floundering fortunes. Mustafa, we saw Raiyan did talk a bit about England's bowling combination with Dan Lawrence, very likely with his dibbly-dobbly, very awkward-looking off spin, but it's very effective, especially in T20. Pakistan's combination equally, we don't really have a bowling all-rounder. No Rana Fahim Ashraf.
Mm.
I don't know why they didn't take him because he always used to get randomly picked out of nowhere for these overseas tours, especially to South Africa or New Zealand, and has played in England in the past as well. They haven't taken him. They tried Ahmed Jamal at number 7, which was an absolute disaster in the Caribbean. So, what are you looking at as
Yeah.
Pakistan's best playing 11?
The main thing I'm looking forward, I'm looking to, and like Rayyan has mentioned this a couple of times to me off camera as well, right? Is that more less about the bowling combination, right? Is where Rizwan and Aga will bat, right? Because Aga, even though he's not a wicket keeper, he is much more suited to be a number 7, and Rizwan is a number 6, right? But that
But a test number 7 is not a batting position, man. That's not a thing.
I'm
Even
not, I'm
six is not a thing.
I'm not getting into this right now because but
Six
like
is not a batting position, my friend. Come on.
6 and 7 are
Like we
batting.
say, Asad Shafiq is the best number 6 we've ever had. A number 6 player is not a batter, right? Ryan, you can back me on this.
He,
Yeah,
he,
I mean, it's part of the batting lineup. It's 4 to 6. So the lesser lesser of the three bats at six then.
don't
Go ahead,
speak ill
Mustafa. Go ahead.
don't,
Pardon my side rant. Go ahead. Go ahead.
don't speak ill of Asad Shafiq in front of Riyad. That's all I will say. Um, but coming back to it, right? So like bowling combinations, I do think they might go with Obaid in a couple of these, in one or two of these tests, just because I think, Muhammad
Maybe
Ali,
on the Lords up and down one,
yeah,
maybe.
up and down pitch because like Abbas, Khurram Shehzad, and Muhammad Ali should basically thrive in these conditions, right? Because they're all line in length and swing bowlers, right? So
So you're
these
not
are
seeing a role for Usman or Sajid at all.
I'm seeing a roam for probably Sajid because like I do think Sajid should get a shot just because he can also offer you a little bit with the bat and with those three fast bowlers your tail becomes a tiny bit long, right?
Usman actually averages 22 in first class cricket with the bat,
So
but
put us
he's averaged like 10 in the last few matches he's played though
Yeah,
for
the
the year.
problem is Abbas, even
Yeah.
though he made runs in the Caribbean, he
mm,
can't bat. Daisy can't bat. Who was the other one?
Ubaid
Khurram
can't
cannot
bat.
bat.
yeah.
Zero, matlab, bilkul zero. So we don't have even a number 8, you know.
Yeah, yeah, we gone are the days where like we had
Yeah.
Wasim and Imran, where we had basically two bowling all rounders. One was a proper all rounder, and the other one was a bowling all rounder who has also scored about 215 as his highest score.
Yeah. I think if Pakistan do decide to play four paces, then Jamal might perhaps come back
Mm.
into the equation then.
And looks like Saud Shakil, rather than by form or merit, by default is going to be in the side because unfortunately Abdullah Fazal got injured. We were really looking forward to him.
Mm.
Made such a bright debut in Bangladesh. Azan Owais, he struggled against the moving ball in the Caribbean as well, but he got a good 50 in the second test, so he seems to be one for the future. Thankfully, Abdullah Shafiq has found his form. Is Shan Masood locked in at three, or are we looking at
I
somebody
would
else? Do we have any other option?
I would like. Do you think I would really think that I would move Shan to open and put Abdullah at three? I think that's the most sensible thing because
That
Abdullah,
is a talking point.
yeah, Abdullah at we have always known that Abdullah Shafiq's best position eventually will be number three. We've been playing him opener because our captain wanted to play number three, and but he is not our captain anymore, right? Right. So I would hope, because like let's be very honest, I would much rather have our better batsmen at three than I would have them as opener, especially when Abdullah Shafiq's major problem against is a bit of the moving ball, right? And Shan is actually very decent at playing the moving ball compared to Abdullah to a certain extent.
So, Raiyan, with this current combination, you see Saud Shakil on the bench. At one time, vice captain is not getting into the side. If we were going to have Amir Jamal at eight, right?
I think he'll play at five and then Rizwan at
Who am I
six
missing?
and
Oh yeah, this.
Agha.
Oh yeah. You're right. So
Rizu.
the same old combination we had in the past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think Saud gets a bit of bad rap because he's played on pitches that weren't very suited to um, batting in general, like in that bad patches, like the West Indies series and the
The
England series,
Australia
where
failure was quite glaring.
yeah,
That
the
was
Australia failure was obvious, but most Pakistani batsmen do go to Australia and fail.
Hell.
And Saud ka to, so I don't think so. We should वही बात है कि like looking to the future, who is Pakistan's test batsman in the future? There doesn't seem to be a very obvious one that currently who we can blood. So I think that sticking with what we know, and we know that Saud has scored test runs. He had a very good innings in South Africa where he did well. So I do think that currently in first class cricket, there's no obvious replacement for Saud. So I think it was premature to even consider moving on from him. So I do think he should do well in this series.
right then. Raiyan ul-Haq, we've discussed, we've broken down the Pakistan versus England Test series that is coming up. Predictions, final thoughts, dreams, and ambitions. What's going to happen?
So realistically, it's probably 3-0. If
Really?
I
Yeah.
England
probably
are a bad side, bro. Very
yeah,
flawed.
but I hope Pakistan take another te one test. I think they can potentially win at Lord's with the historical significance, and also I think Lord's is a kind of like lottery pitch these days,
Hmm.
so we could come out on top in that lottery. But and we could potentially hang on for a draw at Birmingham, maybe. So 1-1 would be a
That is
very,
one thing this
very
team can't do,
optimistic,
bro.
very,
Hanging on.
very optimistic prediction would be 1-1. But realistically, it's probably 3-0.
Yeah. I
Mustafa.
I'm on the side where I think we can probably win at Lords, but I'm on your side where I'm like, yeah, this team ain't drawing anything. This is going to be 2-1 either way, basically to me, right? There will be an outright winner in this series. I don't think Rayyan's prediction of 3-0 is negative at all. I can see that very easily happening. But I do think it's a toss of a coin, a flip of a coin, and it's going to be either 2-1 to each side. I think that's like that's where I stand right now. Because
Well,
even
it's certainly going to be a very exciting series. Thank you so much, Raiyan and Mustafa, for your time. And looking forward to the action that begins on the 19th of August, just a few days away. We'll see you then.